This is the next part of the chapter of human reproduction, that is menstrual cycle. Now, what is menstrual cycle? It's a regular natural change that occurs in the female reproductive system. It's a cycle that occurs every month in the female reproductive system. Before going into details, let us see what is the purpose of this cycle, why this cycle occurs. This cycle occurs for two reasons. One is the production of the eggs or the oocyte, which is released as secondary oocyte from the Graafian follicle, and also a very important reason, it prepares the uterus for implantation if fertilization occurs. And what will be the preparation of the uterus? Is going to thicken the wall of the uterus and increase the blood supply to the uterus. And if fertilization occurs, embryo is formed, uterus is ready for implantation. So if you go back to the events occurring in the ovary, which we discussed in the previous video, what did we see? First, we had the growth of the ovarian follicle under the influence of FSH and secretion of the first female hormone, that is estrogen, from the granulosa cells. The estrogen will also prepare the uterus. It's going to thicken the wall of the uterus, and since the inner layer of the uterus we call as the endometrium, so estrogen will thicken the lining of the endometrium. And you're going to have the Graafian follicle, the mature follicle releases the secondary oocyte, and this process, which we called as ovulation, will occur around the middle of the cycle. Now, after the release of the secondary oocyte, the Graafian follicle will be converted into a yellow body that is called as the corpus luteum, and corpus luteum will secrete the second female hormone, that is progesterone. Progesterone will also further thicken the wall of the uterus, increase the blood supply, and prepare the uterus for implantation if fertilization occurs. Progesterone, we say it's a pregnancy hormone. That means, and is responsible for maintaining the thickened uterine endometrium. So this, why we call it as a pregnancy hormone, because throughout the 9 months of the gestation period, this hormone will be secreted from the corpus luteum for the first 3 months and later by the placenta for the remaining months. That means progesterone is needed to maintain pregnancy and to maintain the uterine endometrium throughout the 9 months of the gestation period. But if fertilization does not occur, what happens? Corpus luteum degenerates. If corpus luteum degenerates, obviously there will be a fall in the levels of the progesterone. So if there is a fall in the levels of the progesterone, then the thickened endometrium cannot be maintained, because progesterone is going to maintain this thickened endometrium. And what then is going to happen? And it's not needed also, because there is no fertilization. There will be a breakdown of the uterine tissue along with a rupture of the blood vessels. So this is the monthly discharge that occurs in the female reproductive system that contains blood with the uterine tissue. So that's the purpose of the cycle. Mainly, one is obviously release of the egg from the Graafian follicle, plus also main thing is to preparation of the uterus, prepare the uterus for fertilization, for implantation, in case if fertilization occurs. Now coming to the details. Menstrual cycle is a monthly cyclic changes that occur in the female reproductive system, and where you have the blood and the fragments of the endometrial lining being discharged from the uterus during menstruation. This cycle begins at puberty, generally between 12 to 15 years of age, and you have a specific term for it that is called as menarche, and ends around 45 to 50 years, and that is called as menopause. And this cycle occurs at an interval of 28 or 29 days, and in the middle of this cycle what we have, one ovum in the form of secondary oocyte being released, That means if it's a 28-day cycle, around the 14th day. Now coming to the phases of this cycle, it can be divided into 4 phases. First you have is the menstrual phase, second proliferative phase, third ovulatory phase, and the last luteal phase. First is the menstrual phase. Menstrual phase will start with the menstrual flow, and it will last for 3 to 5 days generally. And menstrual flow will be due to what? Breakdown of the endometrial lining of the uterus and its blood vessels. As a result, what we have a mixture of blood, serous fluid of the tissues, mucosal fragments of the endometrium. These pass out through the vagina. And why does menstruation occur? Menstruation will occur if the released ovum is not fertilized, and as a result there will be a fall in the levels of the ovarian hormones and in the gonadotropin hormones, that is FSH and LH. Now coming to the next phase, that is the follicular phase or the proliferative phase. Follicular, why do we say it? Because it's under the influence of the pituitary hormone FSH, and that is going to stimulate the growth of an ovarian follicle. Proliferative phase, because in this phase you will have proliferation of the uterine endometrium, that is rapid multiplication and thickening of the wall of the endometrium. So this phase includes cycle days from 6 to 13 in a 28-day cycle. Now FSH, that is secreted by the anterior pituitary gland, that's going to stimulate the growth of 6 to 12 ovarian follicles. But out of this only one becomes dominant and the rest of it is going to shrink, atrophy, or we say that it undergoes atresia. And these ovarian follicles, if you recall, the oocyte, secondary oocyte, initially the primary oocyte and the secondary oocyte, they are surrounded by granulosa cells, and those granulosa cells will secrete estrogen. Estrogen will stimulate repair because there has been a breakdown during the menstrual flow and proliferation of the endometrium and increase in the blood vessels of the uterus. So endometrium under the influence of estrogen will become thick, about 3 millimeters thick, by rapid cell multiplication, and there will be also an increase in the uterine glands and the blood vessels. Now coming to the next phase, that is the ovulatory phase. That means we'll be talking about ovulation. Now in the middle of this cycle, that is around the 14th day, LH and FSH will attain a peak level, a high levels, and this is going to cause, we said initially 6 to 12 ovarian follicles will develop, but one of the ovarian follicle will mature into a Graafian follicle, and high levels of estrogen will stimulate, or estradiol will stimulate the release of large amount of LH. Suddenly a large amount of LH will be secreted from the anterior pituitary, and this is known as LH surge. This rapid secretion of LH, what is going to do? Thin the walls of the Graafian follicle, resulting its bursting or rupturing and release of the secondary oocyte to outside, and it will be taken up by the fimbrate to the and the infundibulum to the ampulla of the fallopian tube. The release of the secondary oocyte from the Graafian follicle is called as ovulation. Coming to the next part, that is the luteal, because it's under the influence of the pituitary hormone LH, or secretory phase. So this phase will start from the 15th day of the menstrual cycle. LH will stimulate the follicular cells of the Graafian follicle to transform into a yellow body containing the lipid droplets called lutein, and this yellow body is called as corpus luteum. The corpus luteum secretes another female hormone, that is progesterone, and some amount of estrogen or estradiol. Progesterone will also further increase the thickening of the endometrial lining. So it becomes about 5 to 6 millimeter thick. And this progesterone will maintain this thickened endometrial lining throughout the 9 months of the gestation period. And progesterone is also needed for proper implantation of the embryo into the uterine wall. Progesterone will also stimulate the endometrial glands to secrete a nutrient fluid for the embryo when it reaches to the uterus, and therefore it is also called as the secretory phase. High levels of estrogen and progesterone will inhibit the release of FSH and LH so that another ovarian follicle will not develop. So obviously, what is the significance of this? That means when a female becomes pregnant, in her body there will be high levels, because of the pregnancy there will be high levels of progesterone and estrogen. And if these high levels of estrogen and progesterone will inhibit the release of FSH, that means during that 9 months of the gestation period another ovarian follicle will not develop. There is decrease in the levels of LH, so that there will be no ovulation. That means during the 9 months of the gestation period another egg will not be released, because she is already carrying one pregnancy. So this high levels negative feedback will prevent another ovarian follicle to develop during that 9 months of the gestation period. But if fertilization does not occur, obviously corpus luteum will degenerate into corpus albicans. And since corpus luteum degenerates, this is going to cause a fall in the levels of the progesterone and estrogen. And if the levels of progesterone is low in the blood, that is going to lead to a breakdown of the endometrial lining, causing menstruation and beginning of a new cycle. So these are the various events that take place during menstrual cycle. So in the next slide we are going to show all these events, various events occurring during menstrual cycle. So this side they are showing the various events in the form of the hormones or the ovarian events or the uterine events. This side you have the days 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. Midday of the cycle, if this is a 28-day cycle, midday will be the 14th day. So this is the midday of the cycle, around the 14th day. Now in the first block, what is it? Pituitary hormone levels. So what are the hormones from the pituitary? FSH and LH. Just now we have said that both will attain, FSH and LH will attain a peak level. The peak of FSH being slightly lower and the peak of LH being higher, but where around the 14th day of the menstrual cycle. Next you will have is the ovarian events. Ovarian events as we depicted inside the ovary. You have the developing follicle. This is a primary follicle. This is a secondary follicle in which you have the granulosa cells formed, the theca formed. This is the tertiary follicle where you have the fluid filled cavity antrums formed, theca getting differentiated into theca externa, theca interna, and formation of the secondary oocyte. Then a Graafian follicle in which the secondary oocyte will develop a new membrane, that is zona pellucida, around it, and then this is ovulation. The Graafian follicle will rupture, release the secondary oocyte to outside. This Graafian follicle will develop into corpus luteum, and if fertilization does not take place, these are the regressing corpus luteum. So these are the ovarian events occurring inside the ovary. Next, this thing is the ovarian hormone levels. So which are the hormones secreted by the ovary? Estrogen and progesterone. Now from this graph, what will be the peak? What is the source of estrogen? Source of estrogen is from these granulosa cells, and obviously increase will be as the follicles will start growing and the number of cells will increase. So the levels of estrogen will be at its highest around the middle of this cycle. That means when the Graafian follicle is going to release, just before it is going to release the secondary oocyte. So the peak is here about the estrogen. So obviously during this time, what is the source of progesterone? Corpus luteum. So far corpus luteum has not developed. So the level of the progesterone is low here. And when corpus luteum is fully formed, it will start secreting the second female hormone, that is progesterone. That is why you have the very high peak here just below the corpus luteum. So if this regress, the levels of progesterone will start falling, taking a dip. So these are the ovarian hormones levels. So if you get in your entrance exam, you get this graph, and this is labeled as A, this is labeled as B, or this is labeled as A, this is labeled as B. You have to identify the hormones. You can easily do it. How? Because in this, these are the pituitary hormones levels. Both show a peak where around the 14th day, middle of the cycle. And which is out of these, which is FSH, whose peak is slightly lower. So FSH peak is slightly lower, LH peak is slightly higher. So you can easily identify first that this graph is about the pituitary hormones. Between the two also, which is which? LH because the peak is higher, FSH because the peak is slightly lower. So if you get this graph in your entrance exam and this is labeled as A and this is labeled as B, you have to name them, identify the names. You can easily do so because for estrogen the peak is high around the middle of the cycle. For progesterone it will be after, in the luteal phase, after the corpus luteum is formed here. So it is very easy to identify these if you get it in your entrance exam. Now last event is the uterine events. What happens to the uterus, to the lining of the uterus? So you are going to have a breakdown of the tissue, endometrial lining during menstruation. Then start of the proliferative phase or the follicular phase, where under the influence of FSH there will be growth of the endometrium. Gradually it's going to increase in thickness under the influence of estrogen secreted by the granulosa cells, and all these events will be under the influence of FSH. Proliferative phase because there will be rapid cell multiplication and increase in the thickness of the uterine and increase in the blood vessels. So inside what are these? These are the blood vessels of the uterine endometrium. Now around the middle of the cycle, this is the middle of the cycle where ovulation has occurred place. Now corpus luteum develops. So this will be the luteal phase because it's under the influence of the hormone LH, and you will find there will be further increase in the thickness of the uterine endometrium, and maximum will be when the corpus luteum is fully formed and there is the secretion of progesterone from it. And when it starts regressing, so gradually it's going to slow off. There will be a breakdown leading to the next cycle. So these are the diagrammatic representation of the various events during a menstrual cycle, and this is as a 3 marks question, a diagrammatic question in your question bank. So you need to practice this. So that's all for today for this part, and we have finished this part. And next part will be now of this chapter is fertilization.